A very powerful chip on the inside, a plastic body and frame that's pretty effective at a very competitive price. This is the POCO F5. Well, this is a Redmi Note 12 Turbo that's sold as the POCO F5 globally. Now, whatever I said, you can say the same about another certain POCO phone, the OG that we all love. Now, this is the closest POCO's ever come to recreating that magic. Now, I've used this phone as my primary for about a week, and there are some things I loved about it and some things I obviously didn't. In today's video, let's take a look at all that. What's good, what's bad, everything POCO F5 or Redmi Note 12 Turbo, whatever. Hey guys, my name's Ash, you're watching C4E Tech. Let's get started. Let's start with the price, because hey, that's the killer here. With prices steadily moving upwards the past few years, the sub 30k segment, it's not what it once was. It's been a while since we've gotten a solid spec phone in this segment. The POCO F5 changes that. Priced at 26,999 initially, going up to 30,000. This phone feels priced right. Of course, it's 15-20% cheaper in China, but 20% over Chinese price. Now, I'd still call that a win. Okay, now that we've seen the price, let's take a look at what's wrong with this phone. On second thought, let's not do that. Let's save that for the end. I am trying to be a more positive person these days, so let's start with what's good about this phone. The highlight here, obviously, is the chip on the inside. This is the first phone to sport the Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2. Now, you'll be forgiven for thinking, it's the 7 series, that's not flagship. But that's where you'd be wrong. Given the immense competition from MediaTek in the past few years, especially in the mid-range segment, it's kind of forced Qualcomm to bring out the big guns. You know how we have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1? You could kind of call this the 8 minus Gen 1. Just look at this. This is the 8 Gen 1. This is the 7 Plus Gen 2. There are two changes. First, the Prime core. It's clocked slightly lower from 3 GHz down to 2.91, but that doesn't make a lick of difference in the larger scheme of things. With day-to-day tasks, this phone runs really well. This is MIUI 14 built atop Android 13. Whether it's launching apps, jumping back and forth between them, for the most part, it's a flagship experience. This 6.67-inch display is also a pleasure to use. Side note, it's covered by Corning's Gorilla Glass 5. Yeah, that's my cat. The resolution is Full HD+. The tech at play here is OLED, a 12-bit OLED with Dolby Vision and HDR10+ nonetheless. It's got a peak brightness of 1000 nits and a 120Hz refresh that the 7 Plus Gen 2 is perfectly capable of driving. I didn't experience any slowdowns or lag most of the time I was using this phone. It felt smooth as butter. Now, of course, as smooth as it might be, at the end of the day, it is MIUI 14, meaning it comes with its own set of quirks. For example, MIUI can get real aggressive killing background tasks. You're gonna have to dig in and manually disable MIUI battery saver for some apps. And in India, it seems to come with a truckload of preloaded apps, which thankfully seem to be uninstallable. But barring that, the user experience, it's great. Oh wait. There is one thing though. Now, despite this being an OLED panel, the fingerprint sensor isn't under the display, it's built into the power key to the side. Now, it is fast, it is accurate, there are no issues there, but it also feels a little too 2019 for my liking. Now, feeling 2019 might not be a problem in the next case. It's got a headphone jack, something that's becoming increasingly uncommon even on mid-rangers in 2023. On that note, there are stereo speakers here to the top and bottom with Dolby Atmos support. They sound really good. Call quality was also fine, and in India, the POCO F5 supports 12 5G bands. Oh yeah, if you noticed, there is no support for microSD, which might not sound all that bad on a POCO, but this also happens to be a Redmi Note 12 Turbo. So on a Redmi phone, no microSD. That just seems bad, doesn't it? You know what is not bad? Face unlock via the selfie camera. This camera here, it's a 16 megapixel sensor from Samsung, the S5K3P9. It's reasonably good. In challenging conditions, you can notice the dynamic range being average, but for the most part, it gets the job done. It can also shoot 1080p videos at up to 60 frames per second, which is a small pro. And that is something you can't do on some camera-focused flagship phones these days. You know what? I kind of got carried away, didn't I? Let me just back it up a little bit. There are two changes. First, the Prime core. It's clocked slightly lower from 3 GHz down to 2.91. And the second change is with the GPU. Here, instead of the Adreno 730 on the flagship 8 and 8 Plus Gen 1, we get the Adreno 725 instead. This is one area where this phone clearly isn't a flagship. But then again, the 725 does offer you about 70% of the performance as the Adreno 730, so the POCO F5 still is excellent for gaming on a budget. It definitely performs better than, say, the 778G on the Nothing Phone 1 or the Mali G68 on a Galaxy A54 or even the Mali G710 on a Pixel 7a. Hell, it even comfortably outperforms the Adreno 630 on a Snapdragon 888. So realistically, it's only the 8 Plus Gen 1 and the 8 Gen 2 phones that are going to be beating the POCO F5 with performance, be it CPU or GPU. Now, if you were wondering if the strong performance leads to bad battery life, nope, not at all. The battery life is anything but bad. I'd rate it as good plus maybe. The 5000 mAh battery on the inside, it easily lasted me a full day on a single charge, and using a 67-watt charger, which is included in the box, using that charger you can get this phone back to 100 from 0 in about 45 minutes. Another thing I liked about the F5 is the fact that despite sporting a 5000 mAh battery, it's very slim at just 7.9 millimeters. It also happens to be super light at about 180 grams. Now there is a con to this. The frame, the back, they're both made out of plastic. Again, more POCO F1 vibes. This version that I have, this is probably the most boring of the 3 SKUs on offer. The black looks interesting with that carbon fiber kind of pattern. It reminds me a lot of the Redmi K20. But the best, it's gotta be the white with the snowflake patterns. It almost looks like the phone's frozen underneath. Super cool, no pun intended. Now regardless of which color you choose, the POCO F5, it feels very comfortable to hold and use. For what it's worth, Redmi does continue to include a case in the box. Given the plastic back, it is something you're gonna have to use if you wanna avoid scratches or fingerprints. Now remember how at the start of this video, I saved a con to talk about later? Well, it's time to talk about it now. The cameras. The POCO F5 features a triple camera setup. The primary is a 64 megapixel OmniVision sensor paired with an optically stabilized f1.8 lens. The images under good light, they seem fine, well detailed, above average dynamic range, pretty comparable to images shot by other phones in this segment, like side-by-sides that you're seeing here with the Nothing Phone 1, the POCO F5 or the Redmi Note 12 Turbo. It holds up well, till the conditions get a little challenging. Now under low light, images were just average. Here's where you can see something like the Nothing Phone 1 comfortably beat it. It's also a little weird that despite the 7 Plus Gen 2 on the inside supporting 4K 60, recording is capped to 4K 30. It seems to be a self-imposed limitation. I don't know why they've done that. The footage itself, it's okay, OIS helps, but there are some weird jitters here and there. The secondary is an 8 megapixel Sony IMX355 paired with an f2.2 ultra-wide. It's okay, nothing too special. The third sensor is a 2 megapixel macro, which I am never gonna talk about. So if you've noticed, the optics aren't particularly bad, it's just not as impressive as the rest of the phone. The cameras here, they remind you that you're dealing with a mid-range phone. The rest of the phone, it doesn't. The performance, the display, the battery life, the in-hand feel, it never makes you feel like you're using a mid-ranger because it punches well above its weight class. So this, the Redmi Note 12 Turbo, the POCO F5, whatever you call it, it's an easy recommend from me. Under 30K, this has got to be one of the strongest offerings in the market today. And that is my take on the POCO F5 or Redmi Note 12 Turbo. I'm done. If you have any questions for me, leave it in the comments below. So thanks for your time. Thanks for watching. Before I wrap, thumbs up, thumbs down, subscribe, bell icon, you guys know what to do. Till next time, my name's Ash, you've been watching C4 Retech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.